first off, to all my Star Wars fans out there, you know this phrase as well, if not better, but how many of you wanted to yell, "It's a trap," to the beginning sequence where where Penguin was entering the warehouse? I do love Game of Thrones, Antonucci. I like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is awesome. No bad, man. Yeah, no, I like Game of Thrones. Yeah, I wanted to yell "It's a trap" to Penguin. I feel bad for him. For those of you who don't know, I am gonna throw the spoiler alert up there. So there's your spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. Penguin's mother is no longer with us. There's your spoiler. There's your spoiler. All right, it's safe. It's safe. Come on back. We're good. Yeah. Penguin's gonna lose it. Penguin is, if he hasn't already lost it, Penguin is gonna lose it, which only makes me more interested in the casting of Paul Rubens as Penguin's father. Pee Wee Herman is going to play Penguin's father, and with everything that happened on Monday night's episode, it's going to be very interesting to see how he comes into Gotham, the TV show, and into Gotham, the city. The dynamic between Butch and good one. They should make an X-Men show. I don't know if they should do X-Men. I'm kind of X-Men'd out, Antonucci. Kind of X-Men'd out. I'll see what Apocalypse looks like, but with Ivan Ooze in it, I really don't have too many. Hopes for it. I heard they're reshooting it right now, and that Hugh Jackman is there. So, yay, Wolverine's back! Yay. I don't know. I'm kind of over X-Men. I mean, Olivia Munn as Psychosis, I think is the name. Yeah, that should be interesting. Anyway, Gotham. So yeah, Theo Galavan is the worst. I am not a fan of Theo Galavan. Just because he's the worst. He's like the King Arthur of Once Upon a Time. He's like the King Arthur of Gotham. If you don't know what I'm talking about, congratulations, Super John. Super John got a puppy. Yay! Yay, Super John got a puppy. Oh, he's so cute. Yeah, Theo Galavan is kind of like the King Arthur of from Once Upon a Time of Gotham. He's not a really nice guy, and Penguin's just gonna tear it up. Gotham, if Gotham wasn't already Penguin's town, it is now. And I can't wait to see more Penguin. I can't wait to see more villains. I'm a villains like fan. I don't know. I'm a villains worshiper. That's what I am. I'm a villains worshiper. And Rise of the Villains, that is my jam. Gotham is just got my number, and it's just calling me, and I'm just picking it up. It's going great all the time. Theo is voted in as mayor, and he's enlisted Gotham's highest rising star in the legal department, Mr. Harvey Dent. Welcome back to Gotham, Harvey Dent. It's so good to see you in your true form. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Super John just sent me a picture of his puppy. I'll put it up a little later, Super John. Don't worry. I'll put it up. So we slowly start to figure out who Theo Gallivan really is. But now he is the new mayor of Gotham. Yay, new mayor of Gotham. Yay. Not really too excited about that. However, Penguin being this aggressive has Jim Gordon a little spooked and a little bit kind of, he's got that scent. He's got a scent. So he's going to follow the scent. So what he does is he's going to question who else but his right-hand man, who else to ask but the man himself, Butch. Butch is Penguin's right-hand man, but we did see in last week's episode that Tabitha, Theo's sister, she did a number on him. And that's kind of where the "it's a trap" comes in for the beginning of the episode. So they go to ask him. Victor Zsasz comes back. Oh, Victor Zsasz. You're a serial killer among serial killers. You're quite the gentleman, if I do say so myself. Shoots up the whole joint, as Victor Zsasz would, as he would. And Butch divulges that Theo Gallivan and solidifies the evident suspect that Jim Gordon has about Theo Gallivan, that he's not the man that we thought he was. Penguin kind of loses it, but at the same time you see his brilliance and his psychological breakdown just mend together, and you get to see the genius that you see in like Batman Returns, that Danny DeVito played Oswald Cobblepot. You get to see that kind of dynamic of like insane or like being broken down mentally and psychologically, but able to come up with such a good plan that you have so many people fooled and nearly get what you want. And it almost comes out in the end, although he's injured, so it will be easy to find him in next week's episode. And again, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do in Gotham, because last week they announced two great castings. They've casted Dr. Hugo Strange, and who's going to be played by B.D. Wong. And they casted, and I forget this guy's name again, but they did cast Mr. Freeze. And I believe they casted Mr. Freeze's wife. So maybe that will tie into Indian Hill that we saw in last week's episode when Firefly was being brought to Indian Hill to be tested on. We might get to see those two new cast members in that dynamic. But for right now, Penguin slowly losing it. But, ladies and gentlemen, Edward Nygma has left the building. And please give a standing ovation to the Riddler. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Last week's episode, we saw Edward Nygma kind of lose it and accidentally take the life of his love, Kristen Kringle. He didn't mean to do it. But it happened. This week's episode, we see the two parts of his minds fight off each other. But then he realizes one one flaw in that whole like psyche of it. Don't fight it, bring it together. So his more menacing part of the brain plays a trick on him, plays riddles on him to find Miss Kringle. And that's when he finally realizes that I can't fight this duality of personality. I need to bring it in. I need to accept both of these personalities, and I need to be bad. Because being bad is oh so good. So Riddler was like, I liked his character because he was way more intelligent than Bruce Wayne was. He was kind of like the villain that would like play with your mind, but not play with your mind in the sense that Scarecrow plays with your mind, where like meddling with the actual chemicals of it, but play with your mind in the sense of you need to think in order to not just take me out, but you need to think in order to react. You can't just react. You can't just punch your way to solving how to take care of the Riddler. You need to use your mind. Use your mind to punch the Riddler. You don't use your physical strength, you use your intelligent strength. Or your mental strength. Not your intelligent strength, but your mental intelligence as a strength in order to wham, bam, boom, pow, the Riddler. So that was why the Riddler was always interesting to me. Again, I never really got into the comics in any of these comic book movies or TV shows that I talk about, or the movies that I talk about. The only real comics I read was Civil War. So I don't want to say I'm an expert on it because I'm definitely not, but I know a little bit more about the comics of Civil War, so I'll be a bit more prepared for Captain America Civil War than I would be for these TV shows. But anyway, who cares about the origin stories of the actual Riddler in the comic books? Those who read the comics, if you're happy with the way it's going, that's great. But the way that they're doing it on Gotham, I think, is just rad, and it's just awesome. Congratulations to all of those at Gotham. You got me hooked. You definitely got me hooked. And I can't wait to see what you got in store for us. Now, Selina Kyle, we saw in the past couple of episodes prior to this week's episode that she's been going through a hard time. She's trying to trust Jim, but Jim's trying to do his job without seeming like a corrupt cop. And Catwoman is she's just taking hits left and right. She just lost one of her closest friends, and she could see that she's slowly losing Bruce to Miss St. Cloud. One of Theo's other thugs. So now Theo's got 3 women on his payroll. He's got his sister Tabitha, he's got Barbara, and he's got this Miss St. Cloud. So, and Miss St. Cloud's got Bruce wrapped around her little pinky finger. Little pinky finger. It's so easy being evil. So yeah. But Selina Kyle is trying to snap Bruce out of it because she's starting to see how much of a bad person Theo Galavan is. Everyone is eventually going to figure out that Theo Galavan is just as bad as is just as bad, if not worse, than King Arthur is on the show Once Upon a Time. I'm just saying it here. I'm not surprised, nor am I liking this guy. But you know what? He's adding to the dynamic. And we all know that his end game is to destroy Gotham's prince, who happens to be right now Bruce Wayne, because of the death of his parents and the decline of his own business. So that's what is on Theo's mind. Theo is going to build until he destroys Bruce Wayne and the Wayne Enterprises and the Wayne family name. It just gets deeper and deeper. Jim Gordon did lose one of his other team members in his task force, thanks to Tabitha. And I gotta say, the way that Oswald Cobblepot, that the Penguin was able to infiltrate the mayoral inauguration / party was just, again, it just adds to that dynamic that he's losing his mind, but he's able to come off with this elaborate plan in order to try to infiltrate one of the heaviest secured parties ever, probably, in Gotham. It was just brilliant. Just like, it was the old switch and bait. You just bring in. What do you do to try to figure out where the ball is underneath the cup? You just throw a whole bunch of balls at the person doing it, and it just messes everything up. And that's kind of what Penguin did. He wanted to create as much chaos, so people would be focused on that, and that way he could live out his actual plan. And I thought he was gonna get away with it, but oh well. So in this episode, we do get to see a furthering meltdown of Penguin, but we get to see the full embodiment of the Riddler come in, and I gotta say, villains. Please come to Gotham. Things are so terrible. You guys can just slip right in. I mean, I'll leave the door open for you. It's just that simple. So yeah, Jim, you're gonna have a lot on your hands soon because there's 2 big guys coming in. There are. Also on Monday night, we're gonna switch to a lighter show. We'll switch on to the lighter, the fluffy comic book shows, if you would. First of which is it's only in its sophomore episode, and it was all right. Supergirl. First episode, it's a pilot, it's the series premiere, everyone's hyped up, everyone's just cheering and just, like, you want the best of this. And I gotta say, I got caught up in it. I got caught up in it a little late, but I did get caught up in it. And I think the series premiere was definitely showing the dynamic of how light comic book shows can actually be without how great comic book TV shows could be. Not great, but how good comic book TV shows could be without adding that dark element to it. A lot of the better comic book TV shows that are out there are insanely dark. Daredevil over on Netflix. Jessica Jones looks like it's going to be like that. Arrow. Peggy Carter kind of had like a darker overtone to it. Gotham. The Flash it's a little lighter, but not as it's still, I would still consider it in a broader spectrum, a darker kind of episode, a darker kind of show. Supergirl is lighter than, is what I feel like, and when I say lighter, I don't mean like brighter. I mean like less heavy, like that kind of lighter, like light like a balloon. That's what I mean. It's got it's got mostly humor in it. Melissa Benoist is all smileys. Even when she's sad, it seems like she tries to turn it around with a smile. And she just brightens up her other cast members. Even when she gets into a fight with her sister, she's able to pull out a couple of one-liners within their small fight training scene. It's kind of a fight scene, but it's a fight training scene. Definitely two girls fighting each other, but you guys might want to check that out. You guys might want to check that out. Sophomore episodes, they are a bit difficult to try to take in because you want the same sort of excitement, but you also want to see the show, if the show can grow from the initial excitement from a series premiere. Supergirl did deliver. I think a lot of people, and maybe people will agree with me, but maybe they won't. We'll see, like on the comments or even in chat. Just let me know. Now I lost my train of thought. I think the dynamic of always comparing her to Superman is gonna get old real fast. Yes, Superman works alone. Yes, Superman saved Metropolis. Yes, it took Superman a while to get his stride as well. We all know this. We're not that dumb. However, the dynamic of always comparing her to him, it's gonna get old, and it's gonna get old fast. I hope that they didn't just keep that up, because throughout the season, because it's kind of wearing on me. They're cousins. They all know it. Well, the people that know it know it. The people that don't know it, they're just, they'll keep saying like you need to be better than than Superman, or you need to be at the standard of Superman. Listen, we get it. National City wants their hero just the way that Metropolis has their hero. Also, was not a fan of her Fortress of Solitude. It's like, I mean, his is in the Arctic, and here I am comparing them. Yeah, after I said that it's gonna get old fast, but like, little rough to get a hold of was that Fortress of Solitude was just, it was killing me, man. It was killing me. I do like the fact that she is working with humans more often, rather than just dealing with all the things herself and then the humans pick up the pieces. I mean, yes, we are seeing a little bit of that right now, but that's because that's what she's being compared to in the show. She's being compared to a man that likes to work alone, and then the humans come and clean everything up. She needs to work on her dynamic of being able to be part of a team. The DEO will not let her work solo, because then they'll just entrap her like they entrap the other prisoners? No. Or they'll just kill her like they killed the other two guys in the first two episodes. So, find out in this episode that in order for Supergirl to get to the same level of infamy and the same level of recognition that Superman gets, she needs to start small and work on smaller projects. Work on your self. Work on your work on like your image. Be a better, not be a better person, but help people out more than just try to solve all the big problems yourself. And again, it was cute. You know, they said there was a fire. Excuse me. They said there was a call for the fire department. Turns out it was a cat in the tree. Then turns out it wasn't really a cat in the tree. It was a snake in the tree. Who names a snake Fluffy? I mean, really. And that's a line from the TV show, and I wholeheartedly agree. Who looks at a snake of any sort and says, "You're Fluffy. You are Fluffy"? I mean, maybe it's ironic, maybe it's like a hipster thing, but no, sorry. I'll name my snake, you know, Slither or something like that. Not Slytherin, but Slither. But something that's snake-like. So she builds herself back up so she could get that recognition of being a hero rather than being a hero some of the time and being a screw-up the rest of the time. So, in doing so, Kara's boss, who is played by Callista Flockhart, wants to do a sit-down meeting so that a person can sit down. You know, all these superheroes, all their pictures are blurry. All the pictures are far away or silhouettes or something that you can't really tell who it is. They never really sit down to do interviews. I mean, every once in a while, yes, Captain America comes on to the Today Show with Matt Lauer and sits and does like an interview. Like, "Why are you so great, Captain America?" He goes, "Well, I was injected with stuff back in the 40s. I mean, hey, I'm a modern day Frankenstein." But Mr. Jameson over at the Daily something, I don't know, Spider-Man universe in Manhattan, he always wants to just nab the Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure if he was given the opportunity to sit down and do an interview with him, he would do so. He would so do so. And also, just a fly. That's what people want, and like I'm sure the people at the Daily Planet, they want to sit down with Superman, and the people over in Gotham, the news people over at Gotham, they're going to want to sit down with Batman or Robin or Batgirl or any of those superheroes that come out of that area. But that's what they want, and that's what she requests. So the whole episode is just about believing in yourself and being the best that you can be and learning what your limits are. And I think that's actually kind of a good it was a good lesson to portray onto people. It's you want to be the best to your abilities, but within the reasoning of what you can do. Don't try to outstretch your limits, because then not only will it might not work out. I mean, sometimes, yes, it does work out, but at the same time, you want to look your best. So do stuff that are confined to what your expertise are. And yeah, it is good to go out of your comfort zone every once in a while, but you need to realize every time you step out of your comfort zone, you're taking that risk. And there's a lot of risk takers out there, and Kara is showing to be one of those risk takers. That she wants to, she definitely wants to be at that point of being the go-to girl for National City. We also get a deeper look into the main antagonist for the series, who is Kara's aunt, whose Kara's mother was her twin sister. So they look alike. So to the unkeen eye, you may think that it is Laura, but it's actually Astra. Astra is Zod. For those of you who have not seen Man of Steel, Michael Shannon played Zod, General Zod, or seen any of the Superman movies with Christopher Reeves in it. Zod is a general who wants to basically just keep the dream of Krypton alive. Astra wants to do the same thing. Astra pretty much is Zod. So you had in Man of Steel, you had Superman versus General Zod. Supergirl, you have Supergirl versus Astra. Pretty much the same thing going on, but in a less destructive environment. How wonderful. How wonderful. Superman destroys Metropolis and probably half the world. I mean, we really didn't get a huge view as to how much he destroyed in Man of Steel. But Kara and Astra were able to keep it down to a dock, like the docks and a couple of warehouses. Bravo. Bravo for really keeping your area of damage and destruction down to a minimum. Down to a National City, thanks you for doing that. We're also introduced to another prisoner creature from the ship that crash landed along with Kara. He's a Helgramite, which, if the way you saw how he opened his mouth, not too sure how many people saw this, but Blade 2 with Wesley Snipes, that's how that vampire opened his mouth too, where the bottom jaw kind of just like, it opens and it's just, that's all exposed. Nearly the same exact thing. However, one's a bug, the other's a vampire hybrid type thing, so definitely different. However, I digress, and guess what? This is what we're left with. So Astra is pretty much Zod for National City. And the Helgramite looks exactly like the weird, creepy vampire hybrids that are in Blade 2. So weird that I knew that. It was just crazy. But I saw that and I was like, ooh, someone's got the same makeup designer. How interesting, right? How interesting. So we also see that Hank, when taking on Astra himself, Hank stabs Astra with a military-formed kryptonite knife. Now, the DEO organization, it was specifically formed for the sole purpose of tracking down these alien creatures, such as the Kara, Zor-El, Kal-El, so on and so forth. We have to remember Superman and Supergirl are both aliens. They're not superhuman metas or evos or mutants. They're aliens. They came from a different planet. So the United States government formulated this organization to deal with this alien, what they feel is like an alien invasion, alien infestation type thing. So Hank has this military-grade kryptonite knife that he stabs Astra with, and Astra is weak against it. Now, I mean, throughout the years and decades and near century probably of knowing Superman and that his weakness is this green crystal from his home planet called Krypton, we've seen many of his villains and many of his counterparts use the kryptonite as a weapon against him. Lex Luthor's used it plenty of times because, I mean, Lex Luthor is just a genius. He's a human. Bruce Wayne's probably has definitely used it a couple times. There were creatures created from Kryptonian stone and whatnot. So I wasn't surprised to see a Kryptonian knife being used when a human is going up against a Kryptonian. However, the way Astra was reacting to it when they were looking at it made me a little suspicious. And then something else made me a little bit more suspicious when Hank, the leader of the DEO, or at least the leader of this DEO outfit that Supergirl is working with, his eyes glow red. I don't really know a lot of the Superman villains other than the really, really known named ones like Doomsday and Lex Luthor. If there's someone with glowing red eyes, please let me know. Please let me know. Leave a message, leave a comment, tell me in chat, tweet at me. Let me know who has like red glowing eyes in the DC comic book world that's more geared to a Supergirl, Superman dynamic. I really want to know that because that's to me it's a little confusing. I'm a little confused by that. I thought I had the knife figured out, that it was Kryptonian stone, or that it was forged with Kryptonian stone. Apparently it wasn't. Apparently it's something stronger, or maybe she just didn't know about this dynamic that humans do know how to weaken Kryptonians. We did see the room that Kara and her sister trained in was lined with Kryptonians, so that forced Kara to use her instincts rather than use her powers to fend off her sister or her stepsister. So I want to know what Hank could be. Just possibilities. You don't have to be 100% correct. This is a show of speculation. This is a show of deduction. This is a show where people get to just let me know. Let me know. And if you're wrong, I'm wrong on a lot of things. I'm wrong on life.